Greek gods are losing our power. We believed Titans to be imprisoned forever. Now, they're breaking free. It will mean chaos. The end of the world.
What am I meant to do?
I thought it was interesting whenever we meet Perseus at the beginning of the film, he's trying to live down these great accomplishments that he made a decade ago. So I was wondering, what is a role that you guys have had? What's a film that you've had that you find yourself having to live down? People, to this day, you did well, and people still come up and like, hey, and point out a certain role or movie.
I find it's the one that the false ones where they go, didn't like that movie.
Really?
You were terrible in it, or the movie didn't work.
Do people do that? People.
I've had that in Australia. People are pretty blunt. So, some of the early stuff I did in Australia, and rightly so, because I was terrible in it.
Were they bad?
So I don't mind. I go, he's still better than me.
I was coming out of Central Park, this is a few years ago, and I'd played Oscar Wilde on Broadway, and this carriage rider was, and most of the guys are Irish too, he shouted at the top of his voice, and he had people in the back of his carriage, hey, Liam. And I eventually turned around and went, hi, Dan. And he went, Liam, I saw you in that play. You were shite. Top of his lungs.
That's what thank you very much.
Hey!
Perseus, I need your help.
This is for gods, not humans.
You will learn someday that being half human makes you stronger than a god.
But Liam, you have a great line in the movie where you're talking to Sam, and you say that being half human makes you stronger than a god. And I was wondering, thinking about each other, what is the attribute that the other person has that makes them more than just the actor that we see on screen?
God, these are interesting questions, aren't they?
Cool.
I'm trying to ask things that haven't been asked
No,
a thousand times
you
today.
are. Just have to write
Here's an ease. Here's an ease about him that I admire. There's an ease to Liam. It's an effortless, just about being him.
Well, and Sam has that too, and he has a lovely quality of potential danger too, which I like seeing in actors. Yeah.
You never know when he's going to go off.
Like a ninja.
I was always taught by my English teachers, English professors, that the Greek gods were kind of like projections of what people wanted, what humans wanted. Where they,
I think that's right.
Right. Thinking of your desires and what you want as an actor, if those were going to be projected into a mythological creature, how would you describe that creature?
My God, that's a great question, but one that I cannot answer quickly.
I'm trying to throw out something you haven't heard 10,000 times today.
Well, I guess it would be something close to some kind of. I mean, as an actor, you want to get to the truth of something. What is whatever the genre is,
Right.
you want to feel that you're getting to the heart. So I think those Greek characters that are like seers or like oracles,
Right.
or like people who can see into the heart of something. I mean, there's always the oracle at Delphi was a woman, but I suppose to be something like a mixture of an ancient Greek philosopher king who could sort of see in. Or weird. I mean, I'm happy to have horns or wings,
Right,
whatever.
right.
But I think there's something in the mind of one of this character you're describing that I'm imagining could see into the future, could see to the heart of something.
I've always been fascinated by the parallels between like the mythological world and our world, because I feel like as a society we tend to lift celebrities up. We tend to treat actors and celebrities like gods. And I was wondering, is that something that you guys notice or you experience when you meet people on the streets, or does it bother you at all?
That's a very interesting point, actually. I've never put it quite that way, but I don't know. Maybe Sam is perhaps new to it, but I get uncomfortable with it. I do, because I work very hard to try and be as normal as I always have been, and sometimes people will see you in a different light, because you've been on a screen 26 foot high or something like that. So it's a tricky one, But I'm not Tom Cruise, thanks be to God.
Yeah. I think if you're rolling around in a solid gold car wearing a big red chinchilla, you're
Right.
going to attract that kind of, adulation. But I think I know what Liam's like. He doesn't. He's not walking around thinking he's the god of gods. That's for sure.
Right,
He's Liam Neeson. He's a dad.
Right.
You put your pants on one leg at a time, like everyone else, man. Unless you, I know some actors who like people to do that for them. But no, it's that's the thing, man.
It's a job.
It's because your head is 60 foot big on a big screen. It has a difference of it. You can make people's opinions.
Whenever you play an evil character like this, whether it be Hades or Amon Gert from Schindler's List or Voldemort, do you have to justify the actions to yourself in order to understand them? And if so, which character have you played that was the hardest to try to justify?
Oh my God. Well, I suppose the Schindler's List character is because he's a real person that really existed. And I remember there was a point in Schindler's List when I was reading up about the Holocaust and a lot of background material. Reading, I overloaded myself with information, which of course there's a point when I knew I had to start sort of thinking about being inside the head of the man I was playing, and that was a big change of gear. That was because in his head he thinks he's doing something he believes in, and he would justify it for whatever terrible reasons. But
is that something that you have to do? Do you have to try to understand?
I think you should be in the heart and the head of the person you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of Hades, in this, it's quite a simple thing of the brothers betrayed me, Zeus shoved me down in the underworld.
Right.
And the deal
So
was,
it makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah.
In a weird way.
I can understand that.
I get that. But speaking of Schindler's List, when you work across from Liam, 20 years ago versus working across from him now, obviously the films are completely different characters, different tones, different ideas.
Everything.
Do you see a different actor when you're working across from Liam than you did 20 years ago?
Well, I see the same spirit, the same man that I, became really very close to on Schindler's List, and but I mean we were getting to know each other. I mean I've seen Liam's. I mean I've always admired Liam, but I've seen the sort of, I think as people grow older, do more, then there's always an added richness into what they do. I loved Liam recently in The Grey.
Oh, it was incredible.
Wonderful work he did in that, and this I think we were loving just being together. We're kind of brothers in spirit, if not in blood, so we get to play it out a little bit.
And have a little bit more fun on this one, I would think.
But also, Hades has a change of heart. He has a bit more of a conscience. We see, which I like. There's more to play than just sort of resentment.
I was going to say my favorite scene in the film is hearing Hades say the phrase, "I'm afraid,"
Yeah.
which I just thought that was incredible to hear someone like him say a phrase like that. So I was
Yeah,
wondering,
yeah.
as an actor, like what is that ultimate fear? Like what would be that thing in a performance that you would say that you're afraid of?
In performance?
Yes, sir.
If I can't connect with something, I like to be it's hard to explain it, but that you need to feel that the person you're playing, you can believe in the moment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the worst thing is if you can be saying the lines, doing the motions, and you have no inner emotional connection. And it's scary when you've got maybe enough technique, or you can sort of do the stuff and people, but if inside yourself it's not connecting, then it's a version of scary.
Right. What do you do in
it's
that
not
situation?
physically scary,
Right.
of course. There are other kinds of fear, but I'm talking about an actor's fear.
Of course.
And that's linked to the same fear, I think, of the cliche fear of forgetting your lines or in front of an audience. But I think that's related to sort of being disconnected, because I think as an actor, you inhabit an intensely imagined world, whatever it is. You've imagined yourself into it. But if that imaginative sort of support system goes,
Yes, sir.
You're suddenly aware there's a camera, there's another actor, and he's got something on his shirt, and I can do the lines, and you get slightly out of body experience.
Right. Of course, that's incredible. That's incredible.
You're sweating like a human. Next, it'll be tears.
Not quite.